So guys, I have my buddy Zach here today. We're going to show you a really cool arm lock series. Zach's been training with us for about 2 months. He's been working in the area. He's been training jiu-jitsu with us. He's a good black belt. And I remember like the first day we rolled, because I have a pretty traditional jiu-jitsu style, and he has a very unorthodox style. And when I started rolling, obviously you got good fundamentals, but I'm just saying like there's a few things that you do that are not in the traditional sort of repertoire of people's moves. It's not necessarily the thing that you'll show for the fundamentals class or whatever, but it's really good. And so he's got a couple of attacks where he can attack you when you're doing things like getting to back mount and you feel like you're safe, but you're getting submitted. He actually caught me in one of the arm locks the first time we rolled. I was like, okay. I was like, I got to be more careful with you. And so he's getting ready to leave. He has to move because of work and stuff and go back home. So I wanted to grab him to show you guys something cool, unusual for my style on the channel. And so Zach, appreciate you for being here.
Hey, I appreciate y'all for having me.
And so we're going to jump into this, and he's going to show us a cool arm lock. What position are we working from?
We're going to work from open guard in the back.
Open guard and back. Let's get into it.
Now wait, when you said grab, was that a jiu-jitsu pun?
Ba-doom. All right, guys. So before we get started, he has feet tattoos. What are those?
Position before submission and an LSU tiger.
There we go.
And yes, they hurt much worse than stepping on a Lego.
With the thing. So like, again, here's what happens like when he and I are rolling. I'm passing and I'm immediately getting my arm attacked. And so take us through this. So how are you setting these attacks up?
To begin with, as you're coming in at me, I'm taking my left side, boom, I'm catching same side arm here. And as you pass, I'm taking this arm and I'm reaching across and I'm isolating this elbow right here. I'm gonna try to put my forearm right here in this little sweet spot. And I'm actually gonna be twisting the wrist downward as I'm hyperextending here.
Yeah.
Now, oftentimes you can finish the submission from here. However, if he's wise to it and he starts to continue to the back, you can actually roll out a little bit and come through here. Sometimes you can finish the submission. Other times it just causes a good scramble.
He didn't finish me with that. I don't want you guys to think that.
No.
You did finish me with something that sort of led off that. And that said, with that arm attack that he's doing, when he's hitting that, he does get me to respond to it. And that's kind of, it's almost like, it reminds me of a little bit of wrist locks, where like, if you're like really good at wrist locks and like you start to attack someone's like arm or hand or whatever, they have to respond and they get really defensive. And I think like that's all of us when we've been rolling with Zach while he's been here. Everybody's kind of like rolling with him with T-Rex arms, because anytime we get extended, he immediately starts threatening the arm. And even if it's not necessarily the best submission right out of the gate, it makes us move, and then you get those weird transitions out of it. Now, where does this thing lead to? All right,
so I've got his wrist here. I'm going for it. He's passing, and let's say he's wise to it, and I know he's starting to cinch up, and I know I'm not going to finish this little arm bar. I'm just going to swing this out real quick. Boom, go to my overhook, and I'm going to go for my little Kimura trap. I'm going to spin here. And now I can take the wrist, turn it inward, extend it. I've still got my straight arm lock, but if he's wise to that and he drops his elbow, he does a little T-Rex stuff, I've still got my wrist lock right here. All right, so oftentimes when you first start working this move up, if your partner is not a blue belt, they're probably going to take your back quite a bit. So check this out. So Chewy's coming in, I'm trying to set up my arm lock, and boom, he ends up taking my back. That's okay, no biggie. I want to make sure that he only has this bottom hook in. I want to fight off this top hook as much as possible. I'm going to lay on my side here. I'm going to hike my knee up as high as I can. I'm going to put his knee on my thigh. I'm going to take this other leg right here, and I'm going to step down on his foot. And what that's going to do is it's going to turn his angle just enough so that rear naked choke is most likely not going to get me. Now from here, as he's going for that choke, I'm going to start grabbing this wrist. One of my favorite ways to finish an arm lock from here, same exact concept as the pass, you're just here at this point. Twist, hyperextend. He might try some stuff with the other side arm, that's okay. I'll reach up here, grab, twist the wrist, same exact thing. I want to twist it and pull it out as far as I can and then hyperextend. Oftentimes they'll start swimming this arm underneath right here. That's okay, I can grab here, pull underneath. I can get the same hyperextension from underneath also. Now, oftentimes they'll start to close their legs up, and from here, that's actually what I want. I'm gonna lean this way a little bit. I'm gonna scoot, I'm gonna saddle the leg, and I can actually land in a little honey hole situation right here. I can again try to finish my straight arm. I can start hunting Kimuras, start hunting the bow tie, or transition to leg locks.
If I would have seen this on Instagram or something like that, I'd have been like, "This is some bullshit." But like, I've been hit with this. I'm like, all right, it's a gamble. There's some risky stuff going on, but it's far more threatening. He's pretty good with it. It's far more threatening than like if I just saw someone do it than I would expect. So we're here. So what you're doing is you're getting in here like this, hiking this up. You're getting this thigh on the knee?
Correct.
Okay, and then we're stepping like this.
Absolutely.
Okay, and so this is to help lock your body in place so you're not able to get the choke, right?
Correct. So I go for this rear naked choke, and it may hurt a little bit, but unless there's a large strength or size disparity, it's just going to hurt. It's not going to get a tap on you.
And then when you're doing these arm locks, you're grabbing the wrist and twisting it like so?
Correct, and I'm pulling it forward.
Pulling it forward, and then you're pushing here.
Exactly.
Now, I would tell you guys that even if this doesn't work, like the first time I felt this, just this alone, I was like, oh, snaps. And I immediately pulled the arm out directly, and then, obviously his hands are able to defend stuff. Again, it's one of those things where, this in itself may not be like a 100% finish rate, whatever nothing is, but even just the threat of this makes this arm and this person here a little bit more cautious than what they would normally be. And then again, from here, you're even talking about going here, getting over top of this Kimura, twisting here, figure four locking, wrist locking, and everything else, right? All right, let's do a recap from another angle here. So you got the arm, I'm trying to pass, and you're just attacking that arm as I'm getting stuck here. And then again, if I'm not like a blue belt or below, and I'm starting to work around, you're going to that Kimura, to that Peterson roll. Good. And then if I somehow take your back, then you're looking for that same idea, basically catching above the elbow, threatening the arm just as is, and then even looking for the figure four lock. But of course, obviously, we're talking about blocking this, but looking for that figure four lock here on that arm. And then if you're on that side, looking to jump into saddle. Whoa.
Yeah, one thing I like about this position is you really have 4 potential arm locks the whole time. So like if you're on my back, because oftentimes when you're on here, it turns into kind of a little squirrely scramble, especially when they start feeling that threat. They'll start hunting back and forth, back and forth. So I've got one on top, one on bottom, and they go to switch their hands up. And again, it's the same exact thing. You've still got one here. He can reach over with that. And it really just kind of becomes a little jab, 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 backhand sort of mixture right there.
Well, and you're following some basic principles. Like for instance, when you're in back, having top hand control. So if you're because to do all this, you're getting on top of my hand. So you're defending the neck, because if I'm here on top of your hands, I'm in control and can choke. So by you having top hand control, you're still in a really good defensive position. And then just by throwing up those arm locks, like I said, even if they're not like finishing me, I'm like gonna pull back and I kind of retreat from the position. And even if I'm able to do that, it's still gonna make the defense a little bit easier to defend the choke. Because no longer am I thinking about how to just like choke the guy. I'm thinking, oh snaps, like my arm's being threatened. I thought that stuff's kind of fun. It's something that I'll play around with a little bit to mix in with my normal defensive stuff. Back mount, especially, because that's where I like back mount when you're doing those rolls and those Peterson rolls. That's where I feel, for me, that's where I felt the most threatened, where I was like, okay, I really got to watch this. And he's got like a whole system where he's rolling around in different Kimuras and stuff like that. There's so much to it, but I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a nibble there, just so you guys could see, because it's some neat stuff. And maybe you guys, the next time you're in back mount, when you're working on doubling up on that arm there, you can be like, well, let's see what happens. Maybe we can attack the arm a little bit, give him a little threat, opposed to just trying to escape. Zach, I appreciate you for being here. It's good having you. And then we can plug your YouTube channel a little bit, because you have a YouTube channel.
I do.
It's weird. So someone called me a content creator. Yeah. And I was like, I feel like I'm a coach. Okay. When I think of content creator, I think like I don't know, like a foot model or something. Gotcha. Making OnlyFans.
No offense, I wouldn't give any money for that.
Hey, you wouldn't, but I've had several messages. I've had no less than a dozen messages from people who either want my feet or they would like to sniff my feet. I've had lots of those.
I've already accidentally sniffed them during rolling, okay?
I don't smell. Anyway, YouTube channel. And his is like a mixture of stuff. He's got some interesting stories on there. from his life. He's also got some jiu-jitsu stuff. I think there's a video of you getting slammed by some judo guy on there as well that's really popular. But what's your info? And I'll put the description down in the, I'll put the link to his channel in the description down below. But what is it?
My channel is just a mixture of the weird, crazy life that I've led. And believe me, it's a story that's stranger than fiction. But it's just my name, Zachary Sayuke. My last name is Sayuke. It's a really complicated French last name. Don't worry, if you butcher it, you wouldn't be the first person. Won't hurt my feelings in the least. And I do put a lot of my jiu-jitsu footage on there. I also feature my 63-year-old blue belt mother on there. That's always a fun one that brings the crowd out. And Chewy, I really, really want to thank you for having me up here for this opportunity, not only to be on your channel, to be able to train here in your gym, sir, has been a really, really awesome time. I've been training for 13 years. And I've never stayed at one gym longer than 14 months. And I've got to admit, throughout all my travels all over this country, this is easily one of the best gyms I've ever trained at. Thank you very much for your dedication to jiu-jitsu excellence. It'll contribute to the betterment of the mixed martial arts culture.
I appreciate it, buddy. And guys, that's it. So go out there and try to arm lock someone from some weird, funky positions from back mount. And if this guy ever stops at your gym and you're passing his guard or taking his back or getting to turtle position on top, you're probably, he's probably letting you get there a little bit so that he can attack your arm. But I appreciate you guys for watching. Talk to you next time.
I would never bait that.